word, YouTube? It's your boy 30. Y'all already know we back with a live reaction video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. This shit low-key better than doing reactions on Twitch. Only thing is, I gotta be able to start clipping my clips and shit so I can start posting short form content again. That's the only difference. On Twitch, it's easy to clip and shit. On here, you gotta do a little bit extra. But make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for more content, man. Make sure y'all get me to 500 subscribers for the giveaway. Make sure y'all stay tapped in and tuned in for the giveaway as well. Because once we reach 500 subscribers, we will be doing the giveaway. Today, we finna do a reaction about Strawberry Mansion. Wherever that's at. I don't even know where that's at. I'm gonna be 100. But we finna go ahead and get into this video. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too long. You know? Hopefully it's on the right one. Let's see. There we go. And we gonna find us a better intro as well. I know I
shot in Philadelphia is regular. Getting shot in Philadelphia is a regular occurrence.
Oh, okay. This is a vlog from the Philly.
I might shot somebody by mistake shooting at somebody else. Nigga, that shit is a regular occurrence.
It's Cartier out here, man. We on 31st and Burke, Strawberry Mansion section. I'm out here.
The search for suspects in the Strawberry Mansion mass shooting. Gunfire erupted just before 6 o'clock, happened at 31st and Norris Streets, which is right near the James G. Blaine School. A mother and her 2-year-old were hit. The other victims are all teenagers. Minutes ago, police released surveillance pictures of 3 men wanted in connection with the shooting.
Watch it turn right around. Cops ran and flipped it upside down. In a lot of places, you could just hide pounds in a big ass gun with a hole.
I can't lie. Y'all see that? In a video in the Philly streets.
Flipped it upside down.
If a nigga comes shooting at them, it's nowhere for them to run. If they can't get into one of these houses, they just over with. They should just straight all together, no cuts, no gangways, no nothing. Like, that's dangerous. Like that. Hey, I took my hat to them niggas that want to post on the blocks out there, cause boy, anywhere out here, they can turn that bitch up every day. Cause they know they gonna catch something. Easy.
You could just hide pounds in a big ass gun with a whole 100 rounds.
Old head ain't even paying attention. Or unless he don't get no for. He like, hey, they ain't got shit to do with me. He walking. These niggas walking up in pipes.
I would say it's like having another producer in the room that knows exactly what your song needs. This is co-producer. The fastest way to find.
Over 17 days in 2022, Strawberry Mansion experienced a reign of terror. 5 murders, along with multiple other shootings, as part of the gang war that had been going on for years. One of those murders included city and hood favorite Brucey the rapper.
Like the friends I got, we ain't gonna send each other to do nothing wrong. So even though we're in a bad environment, we could put some bad habits, but like we was checking each other, so we ain't get too far going along the way like that.
Tonight, 7 people, including a 2-year-old girl, were shot in Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion neighborhood. It happened just before 6 o'clock on West Norris Street near the James G. Blaine School.
Yeah, but I'm still on Burks. Still breeze through Napa. I've been playing 31st. Catch way more traffic. Where them gun cases happen. In that same spot with a ratchet. My boy strapped 2 back. Probably somewhere with a hoodie on with his hood down and his gun out.
3 goons, huh? I mean, the real story of the 3 goons is there 3, 2, 1, gone.
Hey, these little prosecutors and shit be trying to come up with all the coolest shit to say.
Strawberry Mansion, situated high on the banks of the Schuylkill River, adjacent to Fairmount Park, for venues like the Dell East and its proximity to Smith Playground. In the 1930s and the 1940s, Strawberry Mansion was a thriving, dense, urban enclave, predominantly Jewish. Approximately 60% of the neighborhood's population was Jewish, totaling around 50,000 residents living between Lehigh and Oxford and 29th to 33rd Street. Within a single generation, the neighborhood's demographics shifted profoundly following the Brown versus Board of Education decision and the passage of the GI Bill. Jewish residents began selling their homes and moving out, often to newly constructed housing outside the city. This new community, however, faced systemic barriers, including public housing concentration and welfare bureaucracy that prevented upward mobility. By 2010, census data showed that Strawberry Mansion was 94% black. Its economic decline was stark. In 2000, the neighborhood recorded the lowest average home price in the city. Strawberry Mansion has acquired the reputation as one of Philadelphia's most dangerous areas, characterized by its large area, large population, and historic under-policing.
Ago, we heard about Strawberry Mansion High School inside Philadelphia. For 5 straight years, it has been considered one of the most dangerous schools in this country. Located in a neighborhood where 40% of the families live in poverty, the city's highest number of homicides and assaults.
In early 2022, the neighborhood was gripped by a 17-day period of intense violence. District Attorney Larry Krasner dubbed the perpetrators the, quote, Goon Squad, a clique of killers from across the city. Their victims were targeted over petty grievances like tow trucks and women, and one was killed in a case of mistaken identity or retaliation. In May 2025, D.A. Krasner's office announced the conviction of 2 men, Jameer Rice and Sean Triplett.
Living in the hood, looking like a nigga that be out here doing shit. If you look like a nigga that be out here doing shit and you living in the hoods, they probably get up with your ass. Mistaken identity.
For their involvement in the murders of 4 of those victims. The series of murders began on the evening of February 23, 2022, on the 3000 block of West Arizona Street. Philadelphia police officers responded to the scene of a double homicide where they found 2 men, Juan Carlos Sanchez and Iyad Muhammad, fatally shot while seated in a silver Kia Optima. Both men were shot in the back of the head.
Man, that sound like a
The neighborhood was still whispering about the double homicide when violence struck again. This time on the 3000 block of Fontaine Street. 25-year-old Bruce Chenault, a city favorite known as Brucey the Rapper, was found in the driver's seat of a gray Nissan Altima. It was broad daylight, 12:30 in the afternoon. Officers found him shot multiple times. While this case remains technically unsolved, it added to the suffocating atmosphere of fear surrounding the neighborhood. By March 8th, the violence became even more reckless. At 1:46 in the morning on the 1900 block of North 32nd Street, Calvin Suri was getting in a red Hyundai Elantra. Investigators believe Jameer Rice and Sean Triplett, along with an associate named Salim Ralph, were hunting for a rival. They spotted the red car. They spotted a man who looked like their target, and they didn't hesitate. They approached the vehicle and opened fire. Ballistics later recovered 2 .45 caliber, 20, 40 caliber, and 8 9mm
to lose your life over something you ain't got nothing to do with.
But it was a mistake. Calvin Suri wasn't their rival. He wasn't their intended target. He was just a young man who happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's just like with that LA and C-Day case. Innocent man.
Jameer Rice, or First 48 Goon, as he was called, or Black Goon, was later implicated in Calvin Suri's murder after ATF investigators obtained a search warrant for Salim Ralph's cell phone, which contained evidence of phone conversations between Black Goon and others in the lead up to the killing. Investigators believe Suri was shot to death in a case of mistaken identity, as I said.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million.
3 days later, on March 11th, the final act of the spree. This was a cold-blooded setup. The target was Sufjan Gibbs, a 21-year-old who worked at the Fresh Grocer. The crew used a honey trap. Brianna Chavez, a young woman working with the group, lured Sufjan to an Airbnb on the 1800 block of Ingersoll Street. Sufjan and Brianna had seen each other before, so for him, this was supposed to be a normal encounter. The pandemic led to widespread job loss and school closures, which rocked the city.
Females that be out here trying to set niggas up, I don't think they really know the full consequences behind that shit. Like, if that shit, well, she was saying him was, she probably knew they was finna smoke his ass. But she probably don't know the full consequences behind that shit. A lot of females don't. And they just put themselves in these situations behind the niggas that they fucking with, and that shit be stupid and goofy.
Low-income neighborhoods, the pandemic broke some people's spirits. Young men and teens suddenly find themselves out of work and school, at least the ones that were going to school or had a job. Strawberry Mansion didn't break in 2020 or 2021. It had been breaking for a very long time, quietly, slowly, under the weight of promises that never arrived and investments from the city that never came. All the pandemic did was expose what had been festering in plain sight. A neighborhood held together by thin threads of love and long memories. Some memories good, a lot of them bad for the people that lived there. Kids playing, neighbors arguing, gunshots, ambulances, Mr. Softon, and screams of crying mothers all became background noise growing up in this neighborhood, like a smoke detector that needs new batteries. For any outsider, for those who don't live in Strawberry Mansion, looking at this neighborhood and looking for anything close to resembling normal is almost foreign. A kid growing up in Strawberry Mansion can tell you what normal is, or at least a perception of what normal is, only if he saw it on TV, or worse, the internet. Rarely ever was normalcy seen in real life. Is raising yourself while your mother works 65 hours a week normal? Ask the 12-year-old boy who's doing who knows what right now. Is having your mom and dad there in the household normal? You would think so. Well, what if they both work their ass off just to be able to barely afford the rent? And the family of 7 has to ration almost everything you buy from the supermarket every 2 weeks. Is that normal? Ask the 16-year-old who is hanging with the guys right now watching drill rap videos of people he knows talking shit about his cousin who died last week. Is that normal? All those scenarios and worse are playing out right now in neighborhoods across the city.
Responsibility at home for his mother and sisters. Potatoes cook on the stove near his bed. His clothes are in those plastic bags. His pride, the junior military uniform he carefully lays out on the chair. What are your favorite subjects?
Chemistry.
Yeah?
I like learning about the atoms and the periodic table.
Median household income measures the midpoint of a household incomes in a given area, meaning half of the households earn more of this amount and half earns less. The median household income in Strawberry Mansion is approximately $29,000 to $33,000, as the latest available data says in 2025. I'm trying to paint the picture for you guys about actually growing up in Strawberry Mansion, because today's video is about the 2 weeks plus of horror in 2022. 5 victims and their families changed forever. A mix of mental health issues, bad parenting, little to no positive male role models that they wanted to gravitate towards, plus all the external things that I mentioned earlier, all taking place in the heart of Strawberry Mansion.
I'm a G and Zod star, come to Roy, rock it all. I can't sleep from what I saw. Gun too big, I need a saw. Long nose, made it small. Took 3 boys to chop it off. Took 8 boys and like 4 cars.
Hey, how is the gun laws out there in Philly? If y'all know, comment down below how the gun laws is out there.
Yeah, but I'm still on Berks.
It can't be how it is in New York. I don't think it is.
Catch way more traffic. Where them gun cases happen. In that same spot with a ratchet. My boy strapped 2 backing. Probably somewhere with a hoodie on, with his hood down and his gun out. Bro always got his bully on, no fully on. Shots pace out. He exposing niggas really on. They won't stand still when he pop out. We been telling niggas since watch out. That them little boys better watch out.
Like when I withdrew, I withdrew in probably like December. I ended up getting locked up for my first real case in January. I was still a minor because I graduated school when I was 16. So
you graduated high school when you were 16?
Vincent
Nigga,
Perkins, aka Cartier, was all over the
graduated at 16. That means you were smart as hell, folks. And you choose the streets. That shit crazy.
News in 2022 for all the wrong reasons. An aspiring rapper caught in the mix, he became a symbol of the culture's dangerous intersection of kids who get caught up in the streets even when other options are available.
An elderly person in the neighborhood who hears shots and calls 911. After that, we're gonna have, in whatever order, we're gonna have some crime scene photos, which will show a lot of evidence markers, holes in a windshield from bullets. There were a lot of bullets in this case. And then we are also gonna show a couple rap videos.
At Shane Company, we're all about you. We'll help you create the dream engagement.
There's also a case that 3 years later, we can discuss in the following context. As of today, midnight last night, the 16th of March, 2025, the city of Philadelphia has a total of 39 homicides to date. That is, without question, the lowest number of homicides we've had through midnight on the 16th of March in the last 18 years. I suggest you go to the Philadelphia Police Department's publicly available database to look at it. But it's even more significant than that, because there is solid reason to believe 39 homicides on the 16th of March 2025 is the lowest number of homicides that we have had on the 16th of March in the last 50 years.
Damn.
Who is prosecuting this particular aggravated assault. It was a jury trial that resulted in convictions last week, and it's directly connected to 4 homicides that preceded it. The final one being 6 days before this aggravated assault, which was exactly 3 years ago today. Over 70 FCCs, 70 shots fired. There were 4 murders in the span of, I believe, 16 days. Is that correct? 16 days. The final one being March 11th of 2022. And one of the guns used in this case was actually, as the DA just mentioned, one of the guns used in this case was taken, was a legally owned firearm of the final of the 4 decedents, the decedent who was killed on March 11th of 2022.
This is going to show you, on this video, you see these 3 individuals that are walking down towards the 3000 block of Page Street. What you don't see in this video is these 3 individuals had already cased the block. This is a premeditated shooting. They planned to shoot somebody on this block. You can see the individuals now returned with COVID masks, and now they began firing.
Look, he just walking. He like, they ain't got shit to do with me. I'm just keep walking.
Again, this is 76 shell casings.
Hey, look at old head. He like, fuck that. Them shots ain't coming towards me. I ain't running no motherfucking work. Hell nah.
You can see the individuals now returned with COVID masks, and now they began firing.
He walking with no motherfucking problem.
Again, this is 76 shell casings, and we have at least 4 different caliber guns, and we have also at least 5 firearms. So you're going to see 2 of the offenders run back to the 3000 block of Fontaine Street. That's where they were all meeting prior to this shooting. And these 2 individuals were never identified.
That nigga running for his life right now. I can't get caught.
And so now we're going back to the 3000 Page Street. What you're going to see is, as those 2 individuals that are unknown offenders, they run back to 3000 Fontaine Street, there's a 3rd shooter that will loop back around and meet up with our 2 defendants in this case.
Damn, that shit crazy. They out there in Philly getting wild.
This is the first offender. This is Jameer Rice. And this is the defendant that we tried in this case, Vincent Perkins. And what's notable is that Instagram account was being monitored by Philadelphia police officers Christopher Smith and Ryan Clement. They had different posts of him wearing that same sweatshirt with Chinatown written across the front. It's a very unique sweatshirt. Nobody else had a sweatshirt like that in this group. Again, Mr. Jameer Rice has a distinct jacket with big GI on the back of it, which is why with those 2 individuals in particular, we were able to identify.
Dumbasses.
And again, we have another barrage of bullets flying down 3000 block of Page Street. As you recall, that 911 call, the elderly woman was calling saying they're shooting again. This is what she meant. There was a first round of bullets, and then these 3 offenders put a second round of bullets down the block.
So they got the hand at their ass again.
And you're going to see Mr. Rice is going to go back to that same block that we saw the first two shooters go back to. That's a 3000 block of Fontaine. And again, this is another post of Mr. Rice wearing that same jacket with an eyeball on it in a different social media post.
Why wear some where you know it's going to be easy identified if you going on a hit? Like, come on, bro. Y'all niggas rookies.
And his Instagram tag name is First 48 Goon, which is a reference, as District Attorney Krasner said, there's a music video where they call themselves the Three Goons, so that seems to be a moniker that he goes by. And additionally, the First 48 is a television show. It investigates the first 48 hours of a homicide, that if detectives don't get a lead in the first 48 hours, the chances of solving a murder are cut in half. As we know, that Mr. Rice is being charged with 4 murders, so that's no coincidence. That is his screen name for his Instagram.
They say 4.
And what you just saw on the screen was the complaining witness in this case. Miraculously, he did not die. He was transported by Philadelphia police to the hospital. He was discharged that same day. He actually walked all the way home after being shot twice. And you can see the police car right here is going to get the victim's 911 call, which causes them to go past the crime scene and go pick up the victim. He walked to West Susquehanna Avenue, is where he was, where his residence was, and they transported him to the hospital. But again, this is an innocent man that was walking back from the deli store and just caught in between the crossfire, or not in between. This is a one-way barrage of bullets from this group of individuals. And again, these are the Instagram posts that were part of the identifying factors that we used in the jury trial. Mr. Perkins is wearing those same New Balance sneakers, as you can see. In one of his posts, he's wearing those in the shooting as well. You're going to see them all together in these videos that were posted in the month prior to the shooting. Mr. Perkins is sitting with an assault rifle on the top of looks like an abandoned car. With the pin.
I ain't gonna lie, that's why a lot of real niggas that's out here smacking shit and, you know, out here really doing shit, they don't be on the internet. They ain't got no Instagram. They might have a Facebook, but on their Facebook, they ain't posted pictures and doing all that.
Big sweatshirt on it. You'll see Mr. Rice had that same jacket on it as well.
This nigga go do a hit with the same.
Mike Capel here, Patriot Software's founder. My dad, a World War II vet, told me to get an engineering degree in 4 years, or he'd enlist me.
Again, Mr. Perkins wearing the same pink hoodie, and then you see Mr. Rice in the background with that same jacket with the eyeball on it, holding a gun with an extended magazine.
Don't come down this one way or you get whacked. We turn the house into tree house, we turn the cars into moped.
You can see the amount of guns that this group has. We have assault rifles, multiple handguns with extended clips.
If they ain't already did it.
And again, these are the music videos that there's 2 police officers that identified Mr. Perkins and Mr. Rice. They were monitoring these accounts. So Vince Perkins, he goes by the stage name Cartier, and this is posted on his account leading up to the murder, or sorry, the shooting. And what we're seeing right now, that clip with the balaclava, that was another unique identifying factor. Because if you notice, when he's doing the shooting, he's wearing a balaclava, and it was the same shape, same distinct features. And also, if you saw at the end of that, he has a doughboy, which is a reference to narcotics. As you saw them, they were chefs, and they were cooking up dope. And this, again, was another video that we utilized in the trial as evidence. And now if we want to flip to the crime scene itself, it just gives you a picture of the destruction in terms of what these 5 individuals did to the 3000 block of Page Street. You can see bullet marker identifiers 1 through, I believe that's 1 through 8. That's where Mr. Perkins was shooting. And you can see on the far end of the street was where the 3 shooters were shooting to begin. If you want to go to the next one. Again, just a different view down Page Street. If you want to go to the next slide. This is looking down. If you go to the next one, this is just a prime example of, we're lucky that nobody was in that car. This is 3:48 p.m. Kids were coming home from school. In the surveillance video compilation that was made, you see kids getting off school buses. There was a kindergarten that had to be locked down because of this shooting. And again, we're thankful that nobody was in that car, but you see there was 4 bullet holes that we can count on the windshield, and there was at least 5 to 6 other bullet holes in the front of that car. So.
All heads in, watch it turn right around. Cops spraying and flipped it upside down. In a lot of places you could just hop pounds in a big ass gun with a whole 100 rounds. Just cause it's tab cover, they don't make it no better. I talk cash, oh boy, I'm a better. I bring heat, yeah, I'm a upsetter. Sip lean, smoke weed, yeah, and I knew better. But I be alright if my pill don't catch me. I won't sit down, won't let them arrest me. And I ain't even mad that I spend time stressing. I ain't do no wrong, I'ma get my blessing. Still walk around strong with my weapon. I'm the only one out here to protect.
On Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022, at 10:41 p.m., Philadelphia police responded to the 3000 block of West Arizona Street. Upon arrival, officers discovered 2 victims inside of a silver Kia Optima with Delaware temporary tags. The car had crashed head-on into a white Ford van parked on the sidewalk. The driver, Juan Sanchez, or Poppy, and the passenger, Iyad Muhammad, were each shot in the back of the head. Recovered from the car were 40 and 45 caliber shells. Surveillance video recovered from the Rogelio Food Market, which is on York Street, captured the back of the property, the 3000 block of West Arizona Street, and at around 10:35 p.m., the video captures a collision with a parked white van. Shortly after, the video captures 2 individuals in dark clothing walking westbound from the area of the collision on West Arizona Street towards 31st Street. Detectives got the info from Poppy's phone that saw that an exchange of money over a car or tow truck of some sort was supposed to happen, but this never went down. Instead, Poppy and Iyad were both shot and killed. Witness number 1 stated that they engaged in a conversation with a person they knew as Goon, who was later identified as Jameer Rice. Witness number 1 further elaborated the double murder was a result of a dispute over a truck, and that Goon told witness number 1 that Goon and Shiz, or Sean Triplett, lured Poppy to Arizona Street under the guise of selling Poppy a vehicle. Witness number 1 stated that Goon had told him that he and Shiz were in the back seat of a vehicle and that the 2 dudes were in the front of the car when Goon and Shiz shot him.
I had a crazy idea. We were surprised that no one had done it before.
Success.
These facts were corroborated by a second witness, a friend of Poppy and Iyad. That, in addition to call detail records which allegedly put the 2 at the scene of the crime, and Goon and Shiz were arrested. It also seems like a few days after the double murder, Shiz, who had been wearing an ankle monitor up to that point, cut it off and began absconding from probation, which also was an aid to eventually arresting him. Shiz's phone records reveal an intense pattern of communication with the victim, Juan Carlos Sanchez, in the weeks leading up to the murder. 249 calls and text messages exchanged between February 4th, 2022 and February 23rd, 2022. The last communication was an incoming call from Shiz to Sanchez at around 10:30, approximately 5 minutes before the crash and shooting were captured on surveillance. Following the murder, Sean Triplett never contacted Juan Carlos Sanchez again, according to police. Bruce Chenault, age 25, was found shot and killed in Strawberry Mansion on February 28, 2022. Police discovered him in the driver's seat of a gray 2022 Nissan Altima around 12:30 p.m. on the corner of 30th and Fontaine Street. His death was one of 42 homicides in Philadelphia during that month alone, and at the time, details about the suspects or motive had not been made public. The case has been documented among Philadelphia's unsolved murders and still remains unsolved to this day. On March 30th, 2022, the ATF started an investigation into all three murder events I just mentioned. While the families of Brucey, Poppy, and Iyad were reeling from the loss of their loved ones, the violence would continue. In 2022, Philadelphia was in shock after the bloody massacre that was 2021, the worst year in Philly recorded history when it comes to murders. The city poured $155 million into violence prevention efforts in 2022, adding $68 million in new funding, which supported both intervention and long-term prevention programs. In addition to the violence, police were solving murders at the lowest rate on record as well. How this affected the homicide rate because of things like retaliation is unknown at this time. On March 8, 2022, at approximately 1:46 in the morning on the 1900 block of North 32nd, Kelvin Suri was shot and killed while sitting in the driver's seat of his 2017 red Hyundai Elantra. Surveillance video shows 3 males approach the victim's vehicle right before the shooting. The crime scene was processed and 2 .45 caliber, 20 .40 caliber, and 8 9mm shell casings were recovered. On April 21st, 2022, about a month and a half after the murder, ATF investigators observed and recorded 2 separate Instagram Live videos being hosted by the account YL.Hero, depicting a man driving with an apparent black semi-automatic pistol equipped with a high-capacity drum magazine on his lap. ATF investigators immediately recognized the male to be Salim Ralph. Philadelphia police, along with ATF investigators, were able to locate and arrest Ralph, who had a previous juvenile charge and adjudication, making it illegal for him to own or handle guns. Approximately an hour after initially viewing Salim on Instagram Live, the cops pulled the car over and determined it was stolen. Police towed the car to the tow lot and later recovered an Apple iPhone 12 and a black Glock 17 with a drum magazine from the driver's side floorboard of the vehicle. Salim Ralph was transported to ATF headquarters to be interviewed. A second male was detained and transported to the headquarters but was cleared by investigation and released. On April 21st, 2022, ATF investigators advised Salim Ralph of his Miranda rights, which he waived. Choosing to speak with investigators, he admitted to operating the recovered stolen gold Chevy Impala and possessing the recovered Glock pistol. Salim acknowledged that the Apple iPhone 12 was his as well and gave them the passcode. Salim Ralph also identified the Instagram account YL.Hero as his own. Investigators showed Ralph surveillance videos depicting the murder of Kelvin Suri. Salim Ralph denied any knowledge of this incident. He was then shown pictures from his own Instagram, which showed himself wearing clothing appearing to be nearly identical to those captured on surveillance video. With no other choice, he admitted it was him. Salim stated that he spent the morning of March 8, 2020.
Nigga, only thing, you know how many hoodies it is? Matter of fact, y'all got on the same hoodie right now, nigga. Admit to it for what? I don't understand niggas, bro.
At the juvenile courthouse before going to South Philly. He said that he visited an Airbnb rental property at 18th and Ingersoll in the evening before spending the night at his own house near 12th and Lehigh. After additional questioning, Salim finally requested to terminate the interview. Before he left, investigators obtained a buccal swab DNA sample from Ralph pursuant to the execution of a search warrant. Investigators also looked at his cell phone and found a wealth of relevant information to the case. During his interview with police, Salim Ralph mentioned an Airbnb he stayed at. That very Airbnb would be crucial in this next part of the story. On Friday, March 11th, 2022, at 10:23 p.m., Philadelphia police responded to the 1800 block of Ingersoll Street. Officers located the body of Sufjan Gibbs, 21 years old, lying on a bed in a third-floor front room. suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the back of the head and neck. Medics responded to the scene and pronounced him dead at 10:44 p.m. Investigators found the room empty except for a dresser and a bed. On it was Sufjan's body laying face up at the foot of the queen-sized bed. A pair of gray and white Air Jordan sneakers were to the right of him. A set of keys with a key fob was found inside of the right sneaker. Ballistic evidence was recovered in and around the walk-in closet and in the bedroom. A total of 6 .40 caliber cartridge casings and 1 .45 caliber casing were recovered. On the floor to the left of the victim's feet was a black Kodak holster. On the bed to the left of the body was a black and white purse containing a Visa debit card and the name of a juvenile female with her high school ID, which was also in the bag. Next of kin were notified and they informed police. Sufjan normally carries a black 9mm handgun, cash, and an iPhone, none of which were at the scene of the crime. Furthermore, his pants were missing. The property was an Airbnb rental and had ring footage available to detectives. Sufjan is seen on the ring camera approaching the house on Ingersoll, where there is a slim black female, later identified as Brianna Chavis, wearing black and red Jordan 1s, light blue jeans, and a dark jacket, waiting on the porch. Sufjan engages in a brief conversation with Brianna, who asks him the location of his car. He responded, quote, right there, and pointed westbound on 1800 Ingersoll, with a key fob in his hand pressing the lock button. Sufjan and Brianna then entered the house together. At 10:08 p.m., Brianna is observed running out of the house, then running westbound on Ingersoll, yelling multiple times to, quote, get her jacket. Throughout the investigation, family members of Sufjan provided information that the people that were there involved with his murder reside in the area of 31st and Berks. On Wednesday, April 13th, 2022, about a month after the murder, a search warrant was obtained for the house of Tyrell Anderson. Police believe Anderson's house was used as a place to divvy up the cash from the robbery and homicide. On that day, April 13th, homicide detectives interviewed a witness who said that they were outside of the Airbnb rental house on Ingersoll Street when the murder occurred. They identified First 48 Goon, Jameer Rice, and Shiz, Sean Triplett, Brianna, and who they knew as Key as those responsible for the murder. Witness number 1 stated that Tyrell Anderson was at the Airbnb as well at the time of the murder. Further, they overheard a conversation between Shiz and Rel. Witness number 1 stated that during this conversation, Shiz advised Rel that Brianna had set up the back door and to, quote, come back to the Airbnb. Witness number 1 stated that when they got there, Rel and Shiz had a quick convo in the minutes leading up to the shooting. Witness number 1 added that Rel refused to leave Ingersoll Street, stating that he had to, quote, make sure Shiz would be okay. Minutes later, the witness heard several gunshots and everyone ran out of the house, including Rel. Witness number 1 stated that Rel, Shiz, Goon, and others, including the witness, fled the location in separate vehicles. Rel and Shiz, who were driving separate cars, pulled up next to each other at one point and agreed to go back to Rel's house on Fontaine Street. Witness number 1 also stated that they were at Rel's house when everybody divvied up the cash and at least one gun, which turned out to be stolen from Sufjan. The witness further stated that Rel requested cash as compensation for his role in the robbery, but he was refused by Shiz. Instead, Goon and Shiz gave him the stolen gun. The witness added that a few discussed going back to Ingersoll Street to try to get the car that the victim left parked outside. Surveillance footage from the Airbnb clearly shows Brianna waiting on the porch of Ingersoll Street for Sufjan to arrive. The two are inside the property for less than 14 minutes before Brianna is seen fleeing the property at 10:08. Further, Sufjan's call record would show his cell phone was traveling to Ingersoll Street right before he was killed and then traveling to 30th and Fontaine immediately after he was killed to Rel's house. The statement is further corroborated by additional call detail records obtained for Brianna, Goon, Shiz, Zaki Hennet, which shows that they were present at the Airbnb at the time of the murder and the subsequent flight to Fontaine Street. On Wednesday, April 13th, 2022, Brianna herself came into the homicide unit and provided detectives with a post-Miranda statement admitting to inviting Sufjan to Ingersoll Street to be robbed by her boyfriend, Zaki, and his friends. Brianna stated she walked the victim to the 3rd floor and promised to have sex with him and the other girl that was there that day, but knew the victim instead would be robbed. While Sufjan was getting undressed, Goon and Shiz and Zaki came into the room, shot and killed him and then took his gun, cell phone, money, and fled. After the murder, Brianna stated that she ran from the house and got into the car of one of the robbers and drove away. Brianna was subsequently arrested and charged with murder and related offenses. Searches of the other girl's Instagram shows pictures of her and Goon in the third-floor bathroom of that very same Airbnb, flashing guns in the days leading up to the incident.
You don't have to make feet content to pay for your trip. Just use Kayak.
Call detail records for Brianna's phone showed that the contact My Boy in her phone, which was contacted 730 times between January 1st and April 1st, was that of Zaki Hanat. Hanat is her boyfriend. On the night of the murder, Brianna sent Zaki texts like, "Hurry up, please, I'm scared. Please hurry to this address," then gave the address to Ingersoll Street. In May of 2025, Judge Glenn Bronson delivered the final word: life in state prison without the possibility of parole. Jameer Rice and Sean Triplett are now, as Larry Krasner put it, the Gone Squad. But locking 2 men away doesn't undo the damage of those 17 days or the years of pain brought by the streets. It doesn't bring back Juan Sanchez. It doesn't bring back Iyad Muhammad. It doesn't bring back Kelvin Suri or Sufjan Gibb.
Damn, they gave her 3.5 to 7 years. That's crazy.
Strawberry Mansion is still standing on the banks of the Schuylkill. The $155 million in violence prevention funds, the police redeployments, the political promises, they're often just lines on a budget sheet. The reality is still lived right here on the blocks between Lehigh and Oxford. The neighborhood remains a place of deep contradictions. As we said at the start, it's held together by thin threads of love and long memories. But for the 5 families of the victims, those memories now end in 2022. But the fog of grief never really lifts. If you want to see more in-depth investigations into Philadelphia's history and current...
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never heard of Mission or Strawberry Mission, but I guess they got it going on out there, man. I ain't gonna lie. That was a little decent little quick short documentary about that shit. But make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, man. We gone. And once again, once I get to 500 subscribers, I will be doing the giveaway. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's for sure. Make sure y'all subscribe. But tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mama, uncle, aunties, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, whoever you got in your family. Let them know that I'm the one y'all want to rock with. But wait until the chat get to going up and shit. I'm going to talk to y'all and have y'all laughing. We're gonna have some good times, man.